Thrawn was the Grand Admiral of the Imperial Navy and an incredibly effective commander. However, he often butted heads with many other Imperials on how the Empire's military should function and where resources should be allocated, with his own military doctrine differing greatly from that of the standard Imperials. But what exactly is Thrawn's military doctrine? Now, Thrawn was a Chiss, which are well regarded as a very secretive and strategic species hailing from the unknown regions, and the Empire strives on establishment and order. Now, the Empire's doctrine had not really changed with the times. Similarly to in the Clone Wars, it focused on capital ships and sheer numbers. However, with Sidious's overwhelming resources being given to it, they had gotten far worse. The Imperial strategy was basically to overwhelm the enemies, to oversee every part of their vast empire. It was important that they had numbers over great quality. This meant stormtroopers were poorly trained and equipped, and TIE fighters were more or less a joke. They were made so poorly and cheaply, the main focus of them was just destroying the enemy by sheerly overwhelming them. Now, this is a valid tactic in some cases. It's similar to the CIS's strategy in the Clone Wars, and they won many battles through it. They just overpowered the enemy with inferior troops. However, the Empire wasn't really at war. Although there was numerous skirmishes, it wasn't galaxy-wide at the point where Thrawn was the Grand Admiral, and Thrawn saw this as the totally wrong approach. Thrawn knew that this was a guerrilla war, fought against far smaller foes. They would ambush the Empire, they would never meet them in a face-to-face battle, and that kind of means that the massive armies are useless if by the time they get there, the rebels are already gone. So let's talk about Thrawn's belief and how he believes that the military should be ran. Well, firstly, we know that Thrawn loathed the Empire's bigotry. The human Imperials very much believed themselves to be the superior species, and had complete disregard for alien culture. Now, Thrawn knew that this was completely pointless. He knew that we're all products of our environment. Soldiers and commanders will act in a way that they see is right, and what they believe is right is down to their experiences and their culture. Thrawn saw these patterns. He could presume how a commander may act simply by researching them, their species, homeworld, art, or military doctrine, and this was something the Imperials just didn't seem to understand. If Thrawn was in charge, we'd almost definitely see more aliens serve in common place in the Imperial military, because Thrawn would know exactly how they would behave, allowing him to command very effectively. We would also definitely have Imperial commanders and troops educated more thoroughly on their foes before fighting them. We're also quite aware that Thrawn did not agree with Operation Stardust or the Death Star. He himself had been denied funding for his TIE Defender program, so it could be given to Director Krennic. And it's something that at the time seems very obvious. The Death Star wasn't really a good idea, but it was classic Empire, overwhelming force. Granted, it would have kept the planets in line and stopped them from funding rebel cells, however it was never going to stop individuals from taking up arms against the Empire. What they needed was a strong and precise presence, something that could take on individuals without having to destroy a world. And this is possibly the key point of Thrawn's doctrine, and that's quality. In this particular situation, Thrawn knew that quality was needed, highly trained soldiers and pilots with good equipment, and well versed in who they were fighting. The Empire's tactics were not working, and he saw that very clearly. Unlike most other Imperials, even Tarkin to an extent, Thrawn didn't believe in simply hitting an enemy as hard and as fast as possible. He would play the long game, learn, and perfect his tactics, and then he would strike, and when an opponent changed, he would also diversify with them. And this is the thing that makes Thrawn's doctrine so unique in the age of the Empire. He acted in many ways like a Jedi, however without the moral compass, forcing him to act in what he perceived to be morally good. And this is one of the things that made him and his doctrine truly remarkable. But what do you guys think of Thrawn and his doctrine? And what would the Empire be like under it? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, please remember to like, share and sub if you did enjoy, as it's really appreciated and it helps the channel grow. Also don't forget to follow me on Twitter at @TheLoreGuy and tick the bell for regular updates. Thanks again for watching, I do hope that you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.